Hello everyone and welcome back to Pod and Play Entertainment. My name is Chris, and in case you don't know, I review movies and I rank them on a scale of 0 to 100 in increments of 5. Today we're going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite movies, The Fugitive. And yes, I have it on VHS, and I like to keep this because this is nice. I have this on DVD too, but I like that. I like VHS. It's nostalgic for me. Growing up in the early 2000s, yeah. Anyways, so The Fugitive is a movie that I grew up with. I saw this every now and then, at least parts of it, on TV, and it always intrigued me. Harrison Ford is probably my all-time favorite actor, and growing up as a big Harrison Ford fan, because I loved him even when I was in preschool. That's how long I've been a Harrison Ford fan. Seeing him in this movie really made this for me, and he does such a terrific job. I grew up with this, and I love it just as much now as I did then. Of course, I can understand it better now than I did then, but I've always appreciated this film. So let's talk about it. So, The Fugitive came out in 1993, and it stars Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, and Andreas Katsulas. It was directed by Andrew Davis, and it was produced by Keith Barish and Roy Huggins. And this movie tells the story of a man. It's based on a TV show. It tells the story of a man who is falsely accused of murdering his wife, and he goes on the run to try and prove his innocence, all the while a U.S. Marshal is relentlessly pursuing him to bring him back in jail after he escapes after he's convicted. Yeah, really, really good movie. If you haven't seen it, I very, very much recommend this movie. This is one of the best movies ever made. I adore this movie and everything about it. So let's talk about it. So for one thing, this is a really well edited film. When Harrison Ford first escapes, and he's running, and Tommy Lee Jones plays this U.S. Marshal. He shows up with his team, and he's giving his team this instructions on how to get him. And it cuts back between this and him running, with Tommy Lee Jones' voice over the entire thing with this thrilling music playing over top of it. It makes it really intense. This is a very, very intense and thrilling movie. This is one of the most thrilling thrillers I have ever seen. The action is top notch. It's a very, very smart movie. This movie treats the audience like we're smart, like with a lot of respect. It doesn't insult our intelligence. The performances are fantastic. This is one of Harrison Ford's most iconic and best performances. Tommy Lee Jones won the Oscar for this movie that he definitely deserved. The practical effects are great. There is a train crash in this movie where a train crashes into a bus, and they did this for real. And you can visit it, by the way. They took this train, they crashed it into a bus for real for this movie, and it's still there. You can visit it if you want. It's still there. And it just makes it that much better because it's real. This is how you make movies. Practical effects, not CGI. You always root for Harrison Ford in this movie. He plays Dr. Richard Kimball, and you're always rooting for him. You're with him from the get-go in this movie, and you really, really care about him, and you really want to see him succeed. And part of the reason why you want to see him succeed so much is because of how smart he is. He doesn't make dumb decisions. Every decision he makes, sometimes, I mean, like, it helps the FBI get on him a little bit, but he's smart. And so even when they get on him, he finds a way to escape. Tommy Lee Jones' character is also very smart, and so you kind of root for him too, even though you don't really want to see him succeed, but you like him a lot. And so this cat and mouse game between these two leads is really, really fantastic. The relationship that they build off of these guys is something that you don't really ever see in movies, but it's really interesting how they did this. The music is fantastic. I love the music in this movie, and it's just so, it heightens it. It heightens the thrillingness in this movie to a max. It's really, really good. It's a really, really well-paced movie. There isn't a dull moment in this movie. There's not a moment that drags. This movie is thrilling from beginning to end, and I promise you, you will be so invested in this film. It's very believable as well. The things that happen in this movie, it's a grounded movie. It's not over the top. You believe the things that happen in this movie. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I went through that pretty fast, didn't I? It's just a really, really smart thriller that you really get invested in, and you really root for this guy. The action sequences are all great. They're all make you grip your seat. One of the best scenes in this movie, I'll talk a little bit more. One of the best scenes in this movie, and probably my favorite one, is when he goes into this sewer drain in a tunnel, and Tommy Lee Jones is chasing him through it, and they're watering through this water, and he comes out to the end where the water all drops out, and he's looking down, and there's this giant waterfall off this dam, and Tommy Lee Jones has got a gun to him, and he tells him to turn around and put his hands on his head, and when he does, he jumps. He jumps. Wow. It is amazing what they did in this movie, and seeing him fall off of that, it's just thrilling. And I love the line when Harrison Ford has the upper hand on Tommy Lee Jones at first. When he's pointing the gun at him, he says, "I didn't kill my wife," and he goes, "I don't care." Everything about this is iconic and thrilling. I love The Fugitive. It is one of my all-time favorites, and it, of course, gets a 100. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Pod Entertainment for more. Hit the like button. Leave movie reviews, suggestions, and comments down below. Follow me on Instagram and Tumblr at Pod Entertainment for channel updates and written movie reviews, and much love.